Hello, we are group 15 and 16 and our lesson will be design, prototyping and construction. So the overview for this lesson is prototyping, conceptual design, concrete design, using scenarios, generating prototypes and construction. So there are actually two main questions in this lesson. What is a prototype and why prototype? There are two kinds of prototyping, low fidelity and high fidelity. So there are two kinds of compromises and prototyping, vertical and horizontal, in which the final product needs to be engineered. What is a prototype? In other design fields, a prototype is a small-scale model, like a miniature car, a miniature building or town. So in this example here, came from a 3D printer. A color output from a 3D printer. All the gears and rods in this model were painted in one pass from bottom to top, and when one gear is turned, the others turn too. So another example is a teddy bear printed from wireframe. So what is a prototype? In interaction design, it can be among other things, a series of screen sketches, a storyboard, a PowerPoint slideshow, a video simulating the use of a system, a lump of wood, a cardboard mock-up, a piece of software with limited functionality written in the target language or in other language. So why prototype? Evaluation and feedback are central in interaction design. Stakeholders can see, hold, interact with a prototype more easily than a document or a drawing. Team members can communicate effectively. You can test out ideas for yourself. It encourages reflection, a very important aspect of design. Prototype answers questions and support designers in choosing between alternatives.
Filtering dimensions of prototype. Filtering dimension. Appearance. Example of appearance are size, color, shape, margin, form, weight, texture, proportion, hardness, transparency, gradation, haptic, and sound. Data. The example of data are data size, data type, data use, privacy type, hierarchy, and organization. Functionality. System function, user functionality need, interactivity. Input behavior, output behavior, feedback behavior, information behavior. Spatial structure, arrangement of interface of information elements, relationship among interface or information elements, which can be either two or three dimensional and intangible or tangible or manifestation of dimensions of prototyping. Material definition is medium, either visible or invisible, used to form a prototype. Examples: physical media and tools for manipulating physical. And next one is resolution, and the definition is level of detail or sophistication of what is manifested, corresponding to the fidelity. And example is accuracy of performance, feedback time responding to an input by a user. And the third is scope. Scope is range of what is covered to be manifested. Example is level of contextualization. And yeah. What to prototype? Technical issues, workflow, task design, screen layouts, and information display. Difficult, controversial, and critical areas. Low fidelity prototyping. Use a medium which is unlike the final medium. Example, paper or cardboard. Is quick, cheap, and easily changed. Example, sketch of screens, task sequence, etc. Post-its, notes. Storyboards, storyboards, often used with scenarios, bringing more detail and a chance to roleplay. It is a series of sketches showing how a user might progress through a task using a device. Used early in design. Example of storyboard is low fidelity prototype, and the advantage of it is lower development cost, evaluates multiple design concepts, useful communication device, addresses screen layout issues, useful for identifying market requirements, and proof of concept. And the disadvantage of it is limited error checking, poor detailed specification to code, to facilitator driven, limited utility after requirements established, and limited usefulness for usability test. And the last one is navigational and flow limitation. The next example of storyboard is high fidelity prototype. The advantage of it is complete functionality, fully interactive, user driven, clearly defines navigational scheme. And the disadvantage of it is more resource intensive to develop, time consuming to create. inefficient for proof of concept. Sketching is important to low fidelity prototyping. Don't be inhibited about drawing ability. Practice simple symbols. Card based prototypes. Index card 3 times 5 inches. Each card represents one screen of or part of screen, often used in website developments.
Wizard of Oz prototyping. The user thinks they are interacting with a computer, but a developer is responding to an output rather than the system. Usually done early in design to understand user expectations. What is wrong with this approach? High fidelity prototyping uses materials that you would expect to be in the final product. Prototype looks more like the final system than a low fidelity version. High fidelity prototypes can be developed by integrating existing hardware and software components. Danger that users think they have a complete system. See, compromises in prototyping. All prototypes involve compromises. For software-based prototyping, maybe there is a slow response, sketchy icons, limited functionality, and two common types of compromise. Horizontal provide a wide range of functions but with a little detail. Vertical provide a lot of detail for only a few functions. Compromises in prototypes must not be ignored. Product needs engineering. Conceptual design. Transform user requirements needs into a conceptual model. A conceptual model is an outline of what people can do with a product and what concepts are needed to understand and interact with it. Mood board may be used to capture feel. Consider alternatives. Prototyping helps. A suitable metaphor. Interface metaphors combine a familiar knowledge with a new knowledge in a way that will help the user understand the product. 3 steps. Understand functionality. Identify potential problem areas. Generate metaphors. Is there a suitable metaphor? Evaluate metaphors. How much structure does it provide? How much is relevant to the problem? Is it easy to present? Will the audience understand it? How extensible is it? Considering interaction and interface types. Which interaction type? How the user invokes actions, instructing, conversing, manipulating, or exploring. Do different interface types provide insight? Shareable, tangle, augmented reality, etc. Expanding the initial conceptual model. What functions will the product perform? What will the product do and what will the human do? Task allocation. How are the functions related to each other? Sequential or parallel categorizations. All actions related to privacy on a smartphone.
Expanding the initial conceptual model. What information is needed? What data is required to perform the task? And how is this data to be transformed by the system? So, if you say expanding the initial conceptual model means pagdadagdag ng mga details to understand kung ano ang mga kailangan upang gumana ng maayos. For example, online food ordering system, you may ask to the person what information is needed. Kailangan mong malaman kung ano ang kanyang order at address. What data is required to perform the task. Kailangan ipasok ng customer ang pagkain na gusto nila. Dami at detalye ng paghatid. And also, how is data transformed by the system? The system processes the order, sent to the restaurant, calculates total price, confirm the order. Discrete design, color, iconic buttons, interaction device, etc. User characteristic and context, accessibility and cultural design, cultural website guidance. So let's move to using scenario. Express purpose or imagine situation. Use throughout design using scenario. Express purpose or imagine situation. Use throughout design in various ways as basis for overall design. Script for user evaluation or prototypes. Concrete examples of tasks as a means of cooperation across professional boundaries, plus and minus scenarios to explore extreme cases. So the next picture I will show. I will show is the example of using scenarios or the scenario.
So, good day sir, my name is Christine De Castro and I'm discussing about the explore the user experience. So, use personas, card-based, prototypes, or stickers to model the user experience. And there are three visual representation called design map, customer, user journey map, and experience map. So, design map is a overview of the entire design process. And customer or user journey map naman is a visualize the steps user takes to archive about the product. And experience map naman is similar, pareho lang sa journey map. But it include all the user experience, interaction with the product. And there are two common representation called wheel and timeline. So wheel is timeline. So wheel is a represent cycle or interactive processes. And the timeline naman is nag-illustrate siya sa pagkasunod-sunod or steps over time. This is construction, physical computing. So physical computing build and code prototype using electronics. And there are four concrete examples like Arduino, LeapPad, and SimsBoard and Mikimiki. So, Arduino is an open source electronics platform, and LeapPad naman is the design for e-textiles and wearable technology. And SimsBoard naman is a tool that allows to measure different parameters such as temperature, humidity, pressure, and light. And last is the Mikimiki, an invention kit for creating interactive projects. Target user naman sila is the design for use by wide range of people. Next is construction SDKs, software development kits, programming tools and components to develop for a specific platform like iOS. So SDK includes IDE, documentation, drivers, and sample code application programming interfaces. So, ang benefits ng SDK is makes development much easier. And example naman sa SDK is a Microsoft Kenny used in, so the last is the summary. Different kinds of prototyping are used for different purposes and at different stages. Prototype answer question, the final product must be engineered appropriately, and two aspects of design is conceptual and concrete. Then, to generate conceptual design, consider interface, metaphors, interaction types, and interface types. Storyboards can be generated from scenarios, card-based prototypes can be generated from use cases. And last is physical computing kits and SDKs facilitate transition from design to construction. And that's all. Thank you.